So, after the weekend happened and Reset came about, we got the official trailer that was the actual weapons preview of some of the stuff that we'll be getting next year. Not all of them, but some of them. Now, for those that haven't seen it yet, here it is for you.
What is the relic on Mars? The power to create your own weapons.
Okay, so now going through that, there is some repeats, there's some confirmations of things I was talking about before. Some of the things I was right on the money on, other things slightly less so, but at the same time, let's go back to the start and see what we got. So it gives us a small preview of what weapon crafting will be like in terms of Witch Queen, which is to say, it's actually a lot more refined than we possibly thought. Although it's hard to say. And during that cutscene, it does look like we're crafting special new glaives. So when it goes to the crafting your arsenal, it literally goes bit by bit and shows us customizing barrel perks. Then it goes to a masterwork perks, then the magazine, as well as its each two perks, choosing triple tap and dragonfly on one auto rifle with a pretty much god roll set for anyone who would want it. Now, whether or not the process is going to be a lot more complicated than just picking, it's hard to say. It's likely going to be a lot more costly than Umbral Engram focusing. Now, going into more of it, we get a little bit of hints of what we got. We have a new exotic machine gun, it looks like, which if I had to bet because of this, one detail right here when you see right here at the bottom, season pass required. If it would, get rid of the bar. Okay, it's not going to. Here. Right there, once it shows the name, we see Season Pass required, which this is the only weapon of the showcase that it actually says that, making me think this is going to be our Battle Pass exotic. Like Ariana's Vow, Salvager's Salvo, Cryosthesia, every season that's had a free exotic just because you had the Battle Pass, I feel like this is going to be it. Now, what this weapon pertains, it does call it a slug launcher, charges full auto missiles. So, yeah, it's hard to say. Slug, I'm feeling it's going to be a tap fire Wardcliff. It's hard to say whether or not these missiles will chain lightning, whether or not they're just sticky, whether they stick to something. It's hard to say officially because we really just see it being shot as well as it mowing down everything in front of it. And it does look pretty dang lethal. I would love to apply that to Actium nowadays. Then we get another look at the Warlock with the Parasite Worm Launcher that has increasing damage. So it's kind of pretty much as we assumed from this. It shoots a hive larva that is somehow explosive or corrosive, and it does some increased damage. As well as Asteo Striga, our new special Witch Queen bonus in the similar way of No Time to Explain. Swarming projectiles that trigger a toxic burst. So this looks like it's gonna be a necrotic grips SMG almost, which it's hard to say whether or not it will actually work together with necrotic grips or how effective the perk goes or what its catalyst will even do. We're getting the basic details here. Now, moving past that, we of course get the next big hit, and that is class-specific glaives. The first shown, the Titan Glaive Edge of Action, which, like we saw before, exactly what I said happened. It placed a small Ward of Dawn directly where this Guardian shot it. It's hard to say whether or not it's tracked to allies. It did seem to be pretty much an on-target shot, but a Ward of Dawn from distance to save allies can be very handy. And as well, the Warlock special one is the Edge of Intent. It deploys, I suppose, a freaking, what's it called? Bleak Watcher that instead of freezing your enemies, heals your allies. So, OP healing builds getting even further. Now, one more that it was actually given some details. The Edge of Concurrence, which is basically a tracking chain lightning glaive that can fire a projectile of chain lightning. Which hunters might be a little bit underwhelmed because that's not really a hunter-specific trait like all the other exotics. But I do think genuinely the tiers they showed it, Titan is going to be best, Warlock next best, and Hunter, while it's still the worst by default, it's still probably going to be pretty good. New weapon archetypes usually have some OP exotics. Now, it gets into a little bit more in the future because it shows us hints at exotic armors in their various perks. And I wanted to take that a little bit. Look at that. Is that a new Valakadine making a return? It's hard to officially say. Here, let's actually frame by frame the best we can. So we see our Titan with holding its new glaive with a new chest plate that we get the details of later. A Warlock with new gauntlets, which I'm pretty sure has a new fancy... Son of a bitch! Is that a new Iron Banner Hanc... Is that an Iron Banner Hanc Cannon? I think that is. Well, in before, it's a vertical frame, and it's literally the worst archetype of hand cannons. But we'll also be supposedly getting a TWAB covering weapons in the future. More to be seen. And like I said, we see our hunter here with a Viced auto rifle. Whether or not it's a Valakadine, it's hard to say. Now, we have Hoarfrost Z chests. Stasis walls replace your barricade, and we see it in action, and it makes a pretty dang big wall. That's at least 3 crystals in either direction with a small crystal right in front, which might be a little bit weird, but holy crap, can your teammates benefit from that easily made crystals? That's now 3 abilities that can make crystals on Titans. Now, the next one is going to be a thing that it breaks Crucible a bit. It's basically double charged and buffed seeking Coldsnap grenades. Oh boy. As soon as Warlocks get these, if they don't throw them on, I'm going to be disappointed because holy freaking cheese, that will be. Now, it's also hard to say what our little buddies over here have just because we don't see much out of our enemy guardians here. They're just kind of in the background. It's not well focused. So it's hard to say officially what, if there's anything new about them. I do think that's the new exotic gauntlets that we will see in a bit that still have been unnamed or unidentified as well. And then we see the Blight Ranger helmet. Reflected projectiles deal increased damage. Now, that is going to be a PvE thing more than PvP because those who do this will know that when you start reflecting, people kind of stop shooting unless they're absolute noobs. Now, we do see a little bit more of that one Titan helmet that I found in the other video that we didn't get any more details on. We'll see one more good shot of it coming soon. But, of course, then we get a flyby of all the exotics at work. And I'm just super excited for all these. These all look amazing. Now, see, right here, there we go. That is a beautiful looking helmet, even now. So, we still have, this is the gauntlet that the Warlocks have already seen. That is the Coldsnap grenade. This, however, is a Titan helmet. It's hard to say what it does. I feel like it's Sunbreaker related just because of the fact that it is on fire. But it's hard to say. We still don't have any details. But of course, then there is the Grand Overture itself, that big missile launching machine gun. And hunters with a pair of gauntlets. That was that one I saw just about over here. They're one of these dudes right here that got frozen. And it's hard to say what those are either. But that leaves 2 pieces of gear otherwise unknown. One known and a few pieces of gear that we can make a good guess of what it is, but have no idea outside of its visuals. Now, that was about everything that we can see, at least see well detailed from the brand new weapons and gear trailer for Witch Queen. Now, some nice looking things coming, and oh boy, the meta is about to shift again. Those glaives, I feel like might be OP in trials. If everyone will bust out the glaives for that round instead of a ward cliff, except the people holding on to the old ways. That being said, my name is Matt Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.